huge human being, football player. You know, this guy's 6'5", 332 pounds, and 85-inch wingspan, 35-inch arms. Got a real skill set. We like the fact that in the pass game he can win quickly, and we think he can develop some skills in the pass rush. He's really adept at batting balls down. He's got I think he affects the quarterback in a big way, but can be a real presence in the run game. Nick Martin, the linebacker, he's a run and hit player. He fits our style of physicality and playing the game the right way. Two-time captain at Oklahoma State. Just had our type of player all over it. You know, swarms to the football, and you feel him on the field. You know, not the biggest guy, but has long arms that kind of mimics Dre in a lot of ways. So that's high praise, and he's got a long way to go to show that he can be like that. But there was a guy that was reminiscent of that. And then the last guy, Upton, Stout, I think Warren Ball, our scout who scouted him, you know, said it best. He's got the heart of a lion, and he's got a lot of qualities we really like, and I think translate well to the nickel position. You know, played with Rondé Barber, and these guys, Upton, I don't know him that well. He came on a 30 visit, and feisty is the word I would describe to his play, his demeanor, and he's got a lot of juice. That was as good a call as we've ever had, calling a kid, letting him know. And I think he's still saying, let's do it. So that was fun, and a good day for the Niners.
Would you like to ideally, you know, make it so Giamador can just stay outside?
Possibly. I mean, we're going to still play it out. I mean, you know, I think Demo is great inside. I think he's great outside. You know, we probably see Upton definitely as an inside player. So that was a big need, the way it fell, especially in the draft. But Demo can do either, but I think it's easier for a guy when he can't stay at one spot. So we'll work that through OTAs and training camp and see how it ends up.
All four of the picks so far, defensive players, pretty easy to determine. Was that kind of pre-scribed? We were going to do that, basically go all defense in these first 2 days?
Okay, we hope so. I mean, that was, you always want to address your bigger needs, but you don't just draft to address needs. It's got to fit right. So we hope to play it out that way because we needed to do that. And starting with the first pick to the next three, it all worked out that way, and we were able to fill probably our biggest needs on the team right now.
Yeah, one cool thing I think you don't. It's not like Kyle, you know, scripting 24 offensive plays. I think in a draft, you can play around. We do plenty of it, but you know, much like a script in offense, it's third down or it's situational. The same thing happens in a draft, but I would tell you that with DL Alfred and Nick, those were the guys we wanted. Those are the slots we wanted, and so that's pretty cool when it works out that way. And Upton, we knew we wanted a nickel, and there were a number of guys in play, and he ended up, and he was a guy we had a lot of affinity for, and so was really fortunate that he was still there at 100. It was getting a little hairy, but he hung on, so that was awesome.
You guys compared Martin to Greenlaw a little bit, but he also said that he saw Greenlaw and Fred Warner as like a dynamic duo, but he also said that he studied Fred Warner for a long time. I think that he said that's the only jersey he owned is a Fred Warner jersey. Knowing that, you know, do you guys see the possibility of that same type of tandem between the two of them?
Well, I mean, that's as special of a tandem to me as I've been around. So I mean, that's a lot, but I mean, that's what you hope for. And you know, I think Dre is one of the best run and hit linebackers that I've ever been around. Probably the best in the league at it. And when we looked at the college tape, we felt this was the guy who was the best in college at that way. And it was cool just picking up the phone, just like what you said. I told him, I was like, hey, we lost a big hitter. And he goes, Coach, I already know. I can do that. Like, that's where I wanted to be. So it was just, I mean, what you said is accurate. He knew all about us, and I think he was just excited to come here as we are to have him.
I imagine Robert Saleh has very concrete ideas of what he needs for his scheme. How much input did he have on these picks?
Well, Saleh's got a lot of input. You know, we always kind of refresh as a staff on what we're looking for. I think the impressive thing about Saleh, we have a system in the core, and the fundamentals of that stay consistent, but hopefully we're always evolving, and I think Robert's really into that, and we do a good job. He does a nice job of communicating that. Kyle's involved on the defensive side. I think it's one thing we've tried to pride ourselves on, being very clear with what we want, the traits at each position, and that helps come draft time. Our scouts, the continuity that we've had for a long time gives them, a lot of confidence in going out and finding the right kind of players. And, although, I think like Alfred, the length that he and Michael have, that's something we've been coveting for a while. And to have that now, but I think they're both guys that move fairly well. So that's exciting for us.
We've been here 9 years, and Saul was first to come with us, and we've changed coaches a few times. And but our system, not just schematically, but the way we do the draft that doesn't change. It's extremely important what the scouts say and what they find and what they present to us. It's extremely important what the position coaches find, and it's extremely important what the coordinators kind of relate to me and kind of how I interview all them, and then I balance it out with the scouts and with John and how we all come to a conclusion on stuff. But we've been doing this for 9 years together, and having a new coordinator that's not a new coordinator because he's been here in the past kind of made it a very smooth, easy deal for us.
You see all these guys, maybe especially the first three, as day one starters? I know it's always competition, but are you drafting them to be day one starters?
We have aspirations. When you're drafting, day 1 and 2, you'd love for that. But these guys, everything is earned in this league. I think that's the biggest principle, and it has to be, and it's the way you want it. And so these guys will have to earn it like everyone else. We think they all have qualities that can lend to being starters, but there's a lot of competition, a lot of good football players that are already here.
Yeah, this
Help but notice some similarities between Nick Martin's athletic score and Malik Mustafa's. I know they're at different positions. He's probably about 10 pounds lighter, but I know you've had a lot of linebackers with safety backgrounds. Is there this increased push toward this adaptability on the back end to give Robert, versatility with what he can call there?
Well, I think one thing we look, we play a lot of zone defense. How fast can you get back, plant your eyes on the quarterback, and break, and then go do some damage when you do break, and how fast can you close? And you guys see that with Malik, right? He sees it and he goes and gets it. And Nick Martin has some similar qualities. So, albeit different positions, those are the type of players we like.
It's not terribly unusual to see 220-pound linebackers anymore. But when you have a guy who is a run-ahead 220-pound linebacker, how much do you weigh? Like, can this guy hold up? Can he be durable in the NFL?
He had a knee injury last year, but I think other than that, been a fairly healthy guy. You always weigh that, but that's why you go get big guys like Alfred in front of him. And, I think it's a nice combination. And that's, I think what I was alluding to, the style of football that he plays. But one thing about Dre was kind of similar size, but had long arms. And so 32-inch arms is long for a 5'11" guy, and that's a good equation. It helps keep linemen off you and all that, and power lifter in high school, some of those things that I think help him out the way he plays.
Collins have a medical issue too, where they said he was in a boot at Pro Day.
He was in a boot at Pro Day, you're right. He was. He had a couple of things that he worked through, but he played through it. He had a really good senior year. So, yeah.
For a lot of different reasons, you guys have said goodbye to a lot of players this offseason. Haven't had a lot of additions. How nice is it to be getting players in, players you pick, players of a lot of talent that you guys believe in?
I told John today's the first day I kind of exhaled since free agency.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of guys, so you just, for whenever that happened, but 2 months ago, a month and a half, but you come into work and you look at your board and there's a lot of empty spots, and you're studying the draft, but you don't know how it's going to pan out. And there's a lot of empty spots there that we would love to fill, but if they're not there, then you go other positions and stuff. So I was really hoping that we could fill out a lot of those spots, and we did today, which, that's the start of it. But you got to have some people there, and now it's to add some competition, and hopefully we add some more tomorrow. But it's definitely was a good feeling to add some guys here because we lost a number more than we ever have before.
Into day 3, you still have a lot of picks to work with. How assuring is it that a lot of your plan up to this point has kind of worked out, and what kind of confidence does it give you to maybe play around with some things?
It's a good foundation. This was a huge weekend for our organization. We love our core of guys, but there's a lot of opportunity on this roster right now, and it's also a lot of necessity, I think, to infuse some youth and some young players and some quality young players. I think this draft We felt like that was the case, that there'd be a lot of quality starters through day 2 and into day 3, and that's how it played out. And we were fortunate to get the guys that we did. We got a lot of work still to do, and Kyle said it